You never know when I'm going to need this. Oh, and that too. Yeah, why did I leave these here? Oh well. Welcome, I'm the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight's review is Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. With another Showa-era character done, Toho decided to make their next movie featuring an original monster villain in the form of Space Godzilla. In addition to Space Godzilla, they also brought back a robot that has not been seen since 1957's The Mysterians. This time, Team Mechagodzilla has been replaced with Team Moguera, which is G-Force's successor machine.
Moguera, he's our man! He can do it with no one can!
Once again, Koichi Kawakita returned helm the effects, while Kensho Yamashita came on to direct the movie, as Takao Okawara was busy with Yamato Takuru when Toho began production on this movie. Takayuki Hattori took on the role as the movie's composer for this film as well. Let's get on with the review. A giant crystal crashes onto Earth, waking Godzilla up. The military builds two brand new ships, the Land Moguera and the Star Falcon, which combine to form Moguera.
Penguins.
Mickey is approached by Professor Susumu Okubo and Chinatsu Gando to help out with a new project called Project Telepathy. They are depicted by Yosuke Saito and Towako Yoshikawa. Gando? Wait a minute. That name seems familiar, doesn't it? Oh wait, she's the sister of Goro Gando from Godzilla vs. Biollante. Project Telepathy, also known as Project T, is a new plan that allows Mickey to control Godzilla using her abilities. At first she is hesitant, but then the cosmos appear before her to warn her that a monster is coming to destroy the Earth. This causes Mickey to agree to Okubo's plan. We also get to see some truly award-winning effects and acting from a space station that is attacked by SpaceGodzilla.
It's happened before.
What's going on?
It's no use. All the controls, they're gone.
In the meantime, we are introduced to Koji Shinjo, played by Jun Hashizume, and Kiyoshi Sato, portrayed by Zenkichi Yonayama. After a nice little James Bond sounding theme, they arrive on Birth Island, where they meet another G-Force soldier that is stationed there named Akira Yuki, played by Akira Imoto. Koji and Kiyoshi also end up being greeted by... What the hell is that? Seriously? That's what little Godzilla grew up to be? He looks like an anime version of Minya. Why is he so fat? Yuki tells Koji and Kiyoshi about his plan to kill Godzilla with a single bullet.
血液凝固剤が入ってる。やつになって鍛えようもないウィークポイントがあるんだ。ここだよ。
You know, movie, if you're not even gonna try to take this seriously, why am I going to? I mean, we're not even 15 minutes in, and it's like the writers have already given up. Let's continue. Mickey, Okubo, and Gando arrive on Birth Island to initiate Project T, which of course Yuki is against. Goro was his best friend and he wants to kill Godzilla out of revenge. Godzilla surfaces and Koji shoots the amplifier onto the back of his head. Mickey puts on Cerebro and uses it to control the atomic behemoth. Moguera battles Space Godzilla in Toho's dark room.
I love penguins.
They are no match for him. Cerebro goes awry and breaks Mickey's control of Godzilla due to Space Godzilla's arrival on Birth Island. Oh my god. Is every monster in this movie on the American diet? Seriously, Godzilla's thighs are huge! Space Godzilla's thighs are huge! And little Godzilla looks like he has just been sitting in front of the TV watching dinosaurs and eating fried food for this entire year. You know what this calls for?
Your butt is wide, well mine is too. A fat
Little Godzilla is kidnapped, or in this case, Zilla-napped. Did they even bother trying to hide the wires here? Godzilla goes back to the ocean and it looks like his tail is ready to fall apart. Come on, people! Mickey, Koji, and Kiyoshi stay behind while the others leave as Mickey wants to... I'm not exactly sure, really. It is never quite clear what she wants, as she just says she is worried about Godzilla and the baby. Okay? Gondo reports that SpaceGodzilla had to have been created by the G-cells that were floating in space from either Biollante or Mothra that fell through a black hole. Given the tusks on his face, I'm gonna go with Biollante. Yuki is asked to be Moguera's pilot as Project T has been scrapped and is now being replaced with Project M because it was such an important plot point to begin with. On Birth Island, Mickey is kidnapped by a few soldiers. Kiyoshi and Koji return to Japan, and with the help of Yuki, they immediately go to rescue Mickey from Okubo and the Japanese mafia that clearly isn't Japanese.
This is really gonna work.
I hope so.
SpaceGodzilla flies over cities to show off some really cool fireworks. I just realized something. SpaceGodzilla is the Kaiju equivalent of Jubilee. A gunfight ensues at the Mafia base, and Mickey now has superpowers. Moguera is repaired.
We have completed all the adjustments. We are ready to attack.
You see, I want a simple war. No class wars, no drug wars, no race wars, no flame wars, and certainly no cold wars. Blue bought for 40 years. But I want is a war that only we can bring. A true war. A German war.
Yuki, Koji, and Kiyomi are tasked with piloting Moguera, and on their way to him, Gondo wishes Yuki to stay safe, and the man looks bored out of his mind.
諦められないことがあるから生きていけるって言ったわね。私にもあります。
Matthew Broderick had more emotion than this guy.
But I think you're cute.
Oh. Thank you. She thinks I'm cute.
And those helmets! What is going on? SpaceGodzilla lands. Godzilla then makes his way into Kyushu with a brand new costume with even bigger thighs than before. Moguera intercepts SpaceGodzilla and is damaged.
Of course!
Godzilla finally arrives in Tokyo to battle the crystallized menace, but he seems to be outmatched.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Then SpaceGodzilla goes Capcom final boss on him. Yuki and gang separate Moguera in order to attack the tower SpaceGodzilla's energy is coming from. In the meantime, Gondo and Mickey decide to venture onto the battlefield because they needed to show off some impractical spacesuits or something. The tower is destroyed, weakening SpaceGodzilla. Moguera is combined once more, and we finally get to see a physical battle between Godzilla and SpaceGodzilla. It is short-lived though, and Moguera destroys SpaceGodzilla's crystallized shoulders.
I fire off my penguin torpedo.
Yuki slams Moguera into SpaceGodzilla after Koji and Kiyoshi have escaped, and Godzilla finishes off the beast. Yuki is rescued by Koji and Mickey's telepathy. SpaceGodzilla's ashes float off into space, Biollante style, and we get a nice in-your-face warning towards mankind.
宇宙が汚され続けていくならいつ第二のスペースゴジラが現れるかもわからない。私たち人類への警告だわ。
Mickey removes the amplifier from Godzilla's neck and he heads back home to Birth Island. Oh yeah, and little Godzilla is no longer entrapped in the crystals. Yay? Wait, the movie is not over yet. It just keeps going as Mickey and Koji walk down in a scene so unrealistic, it makes this look real.
Chip, I got a life lesson. And we made a new friend. Gosh, I just love this city. Me too.
Well, that was Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, and this movie sucks! The plot is so convoluted and complicated that I feel like the writers are making it up as they went along. One of the worst issues includes its running time. This is another case of a movie being 15 to 20 minutes longer than it needed to be. Cut out everything dealing with Project T and remove Okubo entirely, and this movie might have been much better. Mickey now having special abilities to float, move objects with her mind, and control Godzilla is a joke and makes little sense. The other characters fare no better. I do like the inclusion of having characters that had a relationship to Goro Gondo, but it is done so half-assedly that I wonder what the point even was. There is not even one moment where Gondo ever actually talks about her brother, outside of briefly saying he was killed and it made Yuki mad. Speaking of Yuki, the man looks like he is about ready to pass out in every scene as if he was bored stiff. Not to mention the joke it was that he actually thought he could kill Godzilla with a bullet. The Super X couldn't do it. The anti-nuclear energy bacteria couldn't kill him. Mecha Ghidorah couldn't do it. A volcanic eruption couldn't kill him. And even Mechagodzilla couldn't keep him dead. But a bullet, a single small bullet, is going to do the job. Koji and Kiyoshi are also quite boring to the point that they both could have been one character and we would have been fine. Well, it's Heisei Darwin Award time. And what is our nominee? And the nominee goes to The Men in the Arcade. The older gentleman is so dumb and selfish that he would rather die getting his daughter a stuffed animal than run away. However, there's more. It is also his moronic lackey that is even worse, as he just stands there with him to feed him his obsession and does nothing but complain about it. Bravo! The effects are just flat out poor looking. The miniatures are so flat. It just seems like they were thrown on the set just because they needed to do so quickly, without any regard for how they looked. Even that big tower that empowers SpaceGodzilla doesn't even look all that great once you get close up to it. The monster battles are also more like watching an episode of Transformers G1, as all they do in them is shoot at each other. Godzilla looks awful in this movie. The suit used on Birth Island is the one from the previous movie, and it is falling apart as we are watching him fight. The new one for the rest of the movie looks atrocious. His thighs are way too huge. The only thing I can say I like about it is the head, as it is an improvement over the last one. However, this means very little here. Moguera is no replacement for Mechagodzilla. He looks like a robot penguin, and the battle against SpaceGodzilla literally costs him an arm and a leg. He can't even do much of anything but stand there and shoot, fly and shoot, separate and shoot. Thankfully, the Land Moguera and Star Falcon forms do look a little bit better. They do kind of look cool, but again, the end result is they are supposed to combine, and it just does not work. If they had said this was the original prototype before they created Mechagodzilla, I could go with that. But as it is, no. Just no. The concept behind SpaceGodzilla is an interesting one, but like the rest of the movie, the execution is terrible. He is just a boring villain. He looks great and terrifying, especially the head. The colors are cool with the blues, the white crystals, and the yellow horns. But he is way too top heavy to the point that he can't do much of anything outside of shooting and flying. He can't kick. He can barely move his arms. And then there's little Godzilla. He just is horrible. As I said, he looks like an anime version of Minya. He is fat, and he doesn't even look like the Godzillasaurus from the previous movie. How do you go from being that baby to what we got here? It just boggles my mind. I don't understand what they were thinking with this design. And yet, despite all this, it gets worse. The worst atrocity for this putrid pus stain of a movie is its music. Just like everything else here, it is boring and completely feels out of place for a Godzilla movie. The battle music doesn't even sound like battle music. It sounds like something you'd hear in Kyoto Sentai Zyuranger.
MJ1 キック宇宙怪獣かもしれんぞ大変ですネメシスで行方不明になった我が国のスペースシャトルが地球に戻ってきましたそれも不思議なことに小さくなってあモグラさんお
Takayuki Hattori should just be embarrassed from this movie's score, and I don't even know what he was thinking. No more! Suddenly, Godzilla vs. Megalon and All Monsters Attack don't seem so bad. At least those movies knew what they wanted to be and did it as such. This movie just exists because Toho needed to exist. There is no reason I can recommend this movie at all. It is hands down the worst Godzilla movie ever. My brain hurts just thinking about this movie. So I am going to bid you farewell until next time when I return with Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. Bye.
I f***ing love penguins.